right. I think, yeah, it looks like we're getting a good FPS, so there we go. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for the 24th multiplayer test, which means, regardless of the number, we've actually been doing this for over a year. I think we started December of last year, meaning 2019. So today we have some new and interesting changes to the visuals. I'll start it up. Actually, I have to get OBS set right. See if that's working. And of course it isn't. So hold for a second. Let me try this again. Let's see if it'll get it. So, in the attempt to try to get things more visually pleasing, we have something brand new today, a test for an atmospheric shader. One of the other things we did is to get the engine flares working in the navigation screen and fix the bug that came up the last time we did a multiplayer test. So the server's up. Do we want enemy AIs or just want to run around first?
Okay, so we're testing, we're doing the visuals first, and then,
Alright, launching.
I think that we could probably, because we're also, you said, working on the, how you say, what caused everything to fail last time. I think we can probably appreciate the visuals while murdering.
That's fine. And we'll have an enemy there. Let's be the admiral. So, as I said, server's up. By next time, I'm hoping to change the animation for building buildings. I was able to alter the shader rather quickly, actually, which I posted up on the private chat if you saw that picture. Wiring into the main game is something else again, but I couldn't get it running for today. But yeah, I think that'll be something interesting for next time. I'm also hoping to work on a lot of changes for the navigation screen to make it a lot more usable for next time. So I'll just wait for everybody to come in. Do we have everybody that's here? Just the four of us?
Plus Adam.
Adam and Adam. Okay, that's what I thought we were missing something.
And volumes through the Twitch stream sound good.
All right, that's good. Now, obviously, I want your feedback on the changes that have been done, so that if something needs to be changed, if it can be changed, etc., then that's kind of the point of these tests.
Flares on nav screen. What did you mean?
Well, you had mentioned that when you were in the nav screen, you couldn't see engine stuff.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
And you were right, because I never put the code over there. It's now there. Now, interestingly enough, did you actually see the lights, or you just didn't see the engine?
You could see like the weapon lights from the nav screen, but the engine flames was non-existent.
Yes. So now there's a one-liner to add in display greebles, and so that's All right, is everybody ready?
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna start needing like some special effects sounds for some of these things.
Definitely.
Yeah. So,
if nothing else, I'd like to hear it when I get hit.
That too. So the sound system. Also, when your engines are going, I think we need a building when something is being built kind of sound.
There's no sound in space, but there's like always sound on a spaceship.
Well, it's not even just that. We're also not in space. We're in the atmosphere. There is sound. And while one could argue we could change things, that's a different thing. So, just sort of to show what's actually happening here, we now have an atmospheric shader that pays attention.
Buddy entered your channel.
Hello.
Oh.
As you can see, we have an atmospheric shader that's now paying attention to. In this case, we have a sunset, mostly because we're on the North Pole of the planet, and so we're getting that kind of angle. And I'm not sure how well this comes through on Twitch, but if we go the opposite direction, we can sort of see the blue haze of the evening sky. And you can see the different mountain ranges based on how close they are, having it fog out in the distance and stuff like that. So you have a much more realistic feel, if you will. So that was my intent. You guys are my judges here, so what's your view of what the atmospheric changes I did?
I jump out of the nav screen to see them.
Looks really nice.
Does look nice. I definitely can say with certainty that we are not on the moon now.
Yes.
So it's got basically kind of like that distance haze going on now.
It does. It does. Doesn't have full on the fog, but it does have the haze.
Be cool to see what it looks like during the day too.
Yeah, it actually does look interesting. You actually are in atmosphere. I mean, what's also interesting is if you do a check from orbit and then look at the planet has an atmosphere now.
Oh, very neat.
So it actually is. I actually posted some pictures about that. And it's real-time calculation, which may or may not be a good thing, but for modern rigs, that's not really too much of a problem. But to say that it doesn't affect things is untrue, so we're going to actually have to add kind of one of those settings inside your video settings, like how ridiculous you want to get the atmospherics to be, because it's going to eat up a lot of GPU time.
Nice.
So that's nice until your frame rate drops to the floor.
Yeah.
But
I think also like if we want to restart in a sec, because we haven't got very far to bring over in.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
But for amusement value, before we do that, if you hit F2, eventually you'll see a planet there. It'll show you how high off the ground you are. The atmosphere is set at 160,000 feet. I don't know how accurate that is, but that kind of worked. That was mostly because I was basing off of Earth numbers more than anything else. And what's interesting is the higher up you get, the sunset changes because you're going higher and higher in the atmosphere. See, when I look backwards, the blue is changing and stuff like that. So I'm showing this more on the live stream. So now I'm at 50,000 feet. Now, because of the way it counts things, it's probably going to change out around 130,000 feet, but still. So I'm up about 70,000 feet now, and you can definitely see how the planet is starting to res up and in. Alright, I just froze.
Yeah, same. I just crashed.
I would love to know why your machine keeps crashing, Paul.
Maybe
Did anybody else crash?
Is it Bandicam? It seemed to happen right as I took a screen cap.
Well, if it happened right when you did a screen cap, then probably that's what it was.
Very
Is that
well.
what's been happening every time you've crashed?
I don't recall off the top of my head. Maybe? I don't know.
Alright, well,
There's usually a very big pause whenever I take a screen cap with Bandicam, so I'll just leave that off.
Yeah, probably is a good idea. Some things I use Bandicam all the time, and I don't have an issue, but it depends on versions and things of that nature. I've seen that being a thing. Um, so again, I'm gonna look backwards. You can see the atmosphere behind us. Um,
Shall I wait till we join for like ogre?
yeah,
Right.
probably is a good idea. This will only take me a few minutes anyway. I'm almost up to the edge of the atmosphere,
Yeah, I'm looking on the Twitch stream. It is coming through pretty nicely.
and I mean, there's certain things I still have to take care of. Don't get me wrong, but come on, Arthur, you're almost there. Just go ballistic a little bit further, and we're at 120,000. We're getting way up there, and we're about to cross that threshold. I mean, like I said, keep in mind these are spaceships. 126, 127, 128, 129. I think I'm about to transition across. There's 130. Oh, that's right. It's 160 minus 20 is one. And we should be going right, very close to it now. Oh, there's the transition. We're about to hit it. And we're almost out of the atmosphere. Oh, there it goes. We're just on the opposite side of the atmosphere now. So you can see the atmospheric haze across the entire planet. And we're really right at the edge of the atmosphere itself. And because of that, we're getting the still getting the haze. Mind you, I'm very far away from everybody else. I think I transitioned sectors. No, I didn't transition sectors. You guys are down there. But yeah, there's the whole atmosphere thing, and I'll pull myself back down towards the ground a little bit, and I'll transition back in. Oh, there we go. I just thought it'd be interesting to show that on live stream how much it actually bothers to calculate the atmosphere at this point.
I mean, it was very cool looking.
You know.
Well, I just got up a certain point in the live stream. That is beautiful. I have to amend from cool to beautiful.
Well, I'm glad this game is finally getting to that point. All right. Well, let me exit out so Ogre can join in, and then Paul can join in too. All right.
Excellent.
All right.
Honestly, almost glad that we had to scrap that. Actually, kind of glad we had to scrap that game because I forgot to build extra reactors and unpowered us at one point.
Well, that happens.
It's been a little while.
It's fine. Hopefully, I actually did track down what caused the problem. Remember how you were trying to build that mine and it went crazy? Well, evidently came from the turrets, believe it or not, because the turrets were trying to use the new lighting shader, and because I put the code in, I just copy pasted. It was using its parent ship rather than the mechanical parts, and so was writing randomly the memory. And so that's why it was going boom. So it wouldn't have come up unless we had turrets out, which means that when the enemy put the turrets out, we were all doomed anyway.
So this means why I could make a few mines, but then sometimes it would go off very early, or
Right.
when after I'd made turrets.
Yeah, so that's been existing ever since the new, lighting shader was in the system.
The most frustrating in the world of track down.
Fortunately, that save game that you gave us last week, because it was consistently dying, I could track it down. But that's why we didn't find it before now. And so I was able to track it down in about 3 hours once I could consistently get it to crash. By the way, the server's back up. And I tracked it down, and I went, this doesn't make any sense. Why would it blow up here? And I looked up, I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. 3 lines change, everything's fine again. It's like, that's usually how it works. So I was like, okay, it was me being dumb. I know. But that's coding. That's just kind of how that one rolls. All right. But yeah, that means that it should be more stable. Now with Paul, I don't know why Bandicam or anything else would end up causing the problems you're running into. I've done it plenty of times, and with Bandicam, it hasn't done that.
You're also the server.
That's true.
Now, I don't know much about computers. I don't know if that actually makes a difference. I know.
It shouldn't make a difference. I do know that Bandicam, depending how it connects in, can, depending on how old the version is, for example, can sometimes take out a running program. There have been lots of times that once Bandicam gets twitchy, I have to do a full reboot before it will work again properly.
My thought is perhaps it has something to do with the fact that I have Bandicam set up to save like all my like pictures to a separate hard drive that runs at a slower RPM than my, for lack of a better term, install directory.
Okay.
Found another little.
But
It
you
could have
expect
been-
a crash, though.
Maybe because it paused that. I wouldn't know. I don't really know why it would cause it. I'll admit when I hit, save or on my Bandicam, it's usually pretty instantaneous for a screenshot, and I'm doing 4K, which I think you're doing too. It's going to a spinning drive, but it's also going to a RAIDed drive, so it's going to the RAID cache. So it's pretty quick. Because, I mean, everyone's talking about like a meg or two. That's not going to overload the cache. So, yeah, I don't know if you're pushing it through a USB connection, or... We could speculate as much as we want, but, now's not the time to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Alright, so, Jordan and Ogre, are you guys ready?
I found another one of your little Easter eggs.
Uh-oh.
For fun, I thought, can I click Ogre's ready? And I got the please do not change other players' selections.
That you can thank Matt for.
First of all, Matt, I feel like we can be way more sarcastic about this.
I externalized all of these messages. So in order for you to upgrade them, all you have to do is edit a text file.
Okay,
show you
well,
how
I'll
to
look
do
at that in a bit. Secondly, though, in this instance, the text box needs to be way more opaque. I had to move it around before I could actually read it.
Oh yes, Paul's working on that.
Okay. Just, it's minor, but, while it's in front of me.
Well, that's what we're here for, honestly.
What needs to be more opaque?
The text box.
Sure thing.
Basically, because there was text behind it, I couldn't possibly read it until I pulled it down to, the bottom left chat area.
Fair enough. Alright, ready? I think everybody's ready. Now all players are ready. Alright,
Sorry.
well, now the people can actually see this. You can see that it's very transparent, and yes. Are you ready now, Paul?
Yes, I am.
Okay. There we go. I do like how the engine flare shows up and makes the whole butt end light up the fighters and such.
I don't know where the enemy ships are.
Well, they're definitely marked as enemy this time. So ideally, what we want to do is do a complete run, where it's like, okay, we build a base, they build a base, we design up some ships, the ships kind of go at it with each other, and then we take out their base.
Matt, would you set my money share up now?
Ah yes, hold on one moment.
I guess that's a thought, a design thought.
Mhm.
Do we want, if somebody selects mayor, should they automatically start at a higher share? Because in the early game, you presumably will need it.
That's half and half. One, people try to exploit that. The assumption is the War Master's a little bit more on the ball about it, but I understand your point.
Maybe or that's an idea. Maybe we would want. Of course, this goes back to when we have, setup screens. Maybe we'd want to say, okay, would you like to set up some what you want your opening shares and stuff to be on the asset screen?
Right.
Before you even go in. That sounds doable. As doable as everything else.
Oh yes, and say goodbye to the current building animation.
Yeah, you mentioned that a couple times. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I've already. I think I posted a picture of what I had in mind up in the private channel.
Was that last picture you put up?
Yep.
Okay, that explains a lot because I looked at the picture. I'm like, that's kind of cool, but I don't know what Arthur's saying here.
Well, it's what I described I was trying to do, and so now the shader's ready. Now I just have to wire it into the main game. I wasn't going to get it done before today, but uh,
Arthur just kind of, without any comment, put up a image of like a partial wireframe of a ship presented without comment, and I had no idea what he was saying there. I don't know if anyone else did.
it was a cool thing. I enjoyed it, but
It makes sense now.
yes. Well, we had talked about during one of our planning meetings. I was like, we'll see what people remember. I didn't realize no one pays attention to me anyway. So that's okay.
Were you just saying something?
Yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, that's the last of the big things. We're doing the atmosphere, which now is there, and the building animation. We're ready to actually physically make the teaser trailer. Actually, start like recording video for that.
I made more progress on the release trailer script.
Yes, I'm very looking forward to that too. Um, I know Matt has gone rather far with the normal trailer, or not normal trailer, normal tutorial, which we're going to kind of turn into an intro, I suppose. I mean, we got to come up with a better name than tutorials. Yes, we both know that's what it is, but
Right.
we're going to try to turn it to a story intro kind of thing ish.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the blog. That, like the tutorials are part of the story. I think it was something that we need to talk about at a future meeting. Is and that's why I don't want to talk about it too much now because it's not the topic. Is we do
Oops.
need to do a main menu overhaul like entirely.
Uh, yeah, we had talked about what that was going to look like, but we actually need assets for that, and I don't have a problem with that happening.
Don't get too close to the enemy base because the
Yes.
runs away.
Yeah, I just realized that. It's like, hey, it stopped. Oh, that's why that thing is over
While
there.
I'm picking
I
through
was waiting for you to
messages,
finish your conversation.
what weapons
with
would you guys like?
Mark twos. I know that's going to take a while.
Beams. Okay, so you say you want me to go directly to beams and don't stop? Okay.
Beams, the musical fruit. Well, you also need computers to kind of research that
Well, yeah,
quicker
I
anyway.
need a few other things to get there. If you guys are saying basically you do not want me to take the time on autocannons or missiles.
Anybody else can pitch in. I don't personally care one way or the other. If you guys want pulses and whatever, that's fine. Basically, I want to do a legit game. Basically, it comes down to I want everybody to make their own ship, pilot that ship, and then go assault the enemy base. Even right now, but not with what they came in the game with.
Well,
Okay.
okay. How about I'll get you guys autocannons then, because I think somebody's using an autocannon ship.
Yeah. Because in the end, that's a gameplay loop right there. If we can do that, and we can do that multiplayer, we've got it. I mean, we already can tell that you know what, if Ogre and anybody else wants to do their own faction, they can, and you can do PvP going on, if you know what I mean, which is very different than what it is right now. And if we can get that really going, that's what we have. We have a functional game loop. Not saying there's still a lot needs to be done. We need to do repairing. We need to do salvaging. We need to do, you know, we're not done. you know.
That's also why I asked, because like, well, if we're starting to like practice like it's like we're doing the actual game loop, well, a good mayor coordinates with their teammates to determine
Right.
what people would like.
No, you're not wrong.
Because we talked about based on some of our inspirations that we want there to be a choice, like what paths you want to go down.
But of course,
So it's time to make those choices.
I'm actually happy with the frame rate. I was surprised. I was really worried about, even though I'm recording OBS and everything else is going on, it's still doing pretty well. I know it's going to be famous last words, but for right now, it's doing pretty well. So let's go into the.
Right, about 5 minutes, I'll be able
that
to work
screen
on
here.
the laser weapons 2 technology.
Fair enough.
I'm going to get you guys your first factory now.
Sweet. And so I'm checking to see what you're doing over here using the nav screen. So you can see engines running on the ships in there, even though they're hovering. Let's see what the enemy base is doing.
We do, by the way, we have shields.
Oh,
that
okay.
wasn't, I didn't ask that question because that wasn't in question.
Fair enough, fair enough. Evidently, the builder bot had run off, so if anybody's approaching the enemy base, you're scaring them off.
No, I had done that, and then I came back. So presumably it was where it should be.
Well, because I'm watching it, and someone's close enough, so it ran away again. So if we want to do this as a proper test, you know, we should probably start making designs that have no weapons. It'll detect that fact, and therefore won't run.
That's fair. We probably should be, because right now, honestly, I'm taking advantage of the fact that we have a bunch of ships with weapons. I'm building a second factory before I build turrets.
Right.
In normal play, this would be a risky strategy.
All right. I don't know who's close, but you're whoever's staying just off the base. You're scaring it away. You're too close.
That's another. As a UI, we really could use the ability to
Was that me? Sorry.
click on somebody and see who owns that ship from the nav screen, I guess.
Yeah. Thank you for withdrawing.
You still haven't patched that exploit.
No, I haven't. I've been working on the atmosphere. Unfortunately, because Paul is that close, it kind of invalidates the test a little bit for timing wise, because the enemy has been building this entire time.
True. However, you guys really want the laser weapons too, which take a while.
Yeah. Well, once we have laser weapons, we're just going to carve right through them anyway.
True.
All right. So he's building a reactor right now. Or excuse me, a refinery. I am so looking forward to getting rid of this particular building animation. I know that's been around for ages, but yeah, its time has come.
I mean, it always looked functional rather than good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're trying to change all that. You know how that goes. See, it literally is going from one building to the next building, to building stuff, so it's behind things. Now it's building a mine.
Hey Matt, does the building screen work yet, or just appears to work?
That's a good
I
question.
can go into it.
You can get into it. You can get information out of it. You can auto-destruct buildings from it. I believe that's everything I implemented.
Okay.
I
So
only spent a couple days on it.
the buttons are there. It looks like I can't actually tell a turret to switch over to a different weapon.
Correct.
But the buttons
Actually,
are there.
I'm not sure if that's really implemented in the system yet. Arthur, would you remember?
It was never coded in, but it was always meant to be there, yes.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, that's why that doesn't work yet, because it wasn't coded to begin with. But it certainly is on the agenda.
But definitely getting to the build screen is very easy.
Yep, so we go in the research lab, we can see what we're talking about. So here we are. I know these graphics were going to be updated. So you got purge capacitor, auto destruct, upgrade capacitor, upgrade armor. Interdictors was always kind of meant to be on turrets, though. And then bullet computer. That's here and there.
So use the net, checking how the AIs do.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing there right now.
Whoa.
He doesn't have a factory up, but he does have resources up. So that's probably why he's dropping a factory down. Excuse me, a reactor down, I should say. Which means we're not gonna have much time. So how close are you to getting? Well, the reactor, the research facilities are idle.
They're idle? Oh shit.
No.
The alert didn't go off. Okay.
You definitely need those sounds to say, hey, do X, Y, Z.
I just
Yeah,
bombed
but
out
it's-
after trying to save the ship design.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Did it appear? It did appear you called Stinger, right?
I was working on a ship called Eat This. I was assigning the weapon positions, and when I hit save, it just kind of crashed.
Yeah, Stinger is mine.
Okay. Well then let's walk through that. Let me go into the quick designer. I'll hit defaults because that's the way that one rolls. Any particular ship hull that you selected?
I didn't see the actual name. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Did you hit defaults first?
I did.
Okay. Just trying to go through what you did to make it go boom.
Am I able to rejoin?
Yeah, you should be fine. So what was the next thing you did when you were trying to save it?
I was in ship design, in the shipbuilder screen.
The shipbuilder screen or the factory screen?
The shipbuilder screen. After I hit make the defaults, add a few late beam weapons, and then, I guess apply or save.
Okay, did you do anything with the armor or anything, or?
No, I didn't do that.
Okay. We'll have to walk through what you did at a later point rather than during the live stream and see if we can figure out what happened.
Your hard drive isn't full, is it?
Well, that could be a thing. Yeah, that's what happened last time, remember?
That's part of why I brought it up. I shouldn't have known.
I will add a shield design, though.
Jordan, could you do me a favor? Next time you're building a research lab, let me know.
Alright, I'm frozen. Someone's crashed. There. Now it's moving again.
That's interesting.
Sherman, I can do that. Why do you bring it up though?
I'm sitting in the research screen. Basically I have it set up so that if you build something new, it should appear automatically, and I want to test that.
I think I actually had noticed that in the past, but that's basically going to be once I research, so in a little bit, once I research the analytics lab and the research lab Mark II, I'll be putting those down.
Cool.
Which is very shortly.
Alright, should we try to make a ship now and see what we get?
Give me 30 seconds. I'm about to get you your weight laser weapons.
Oh, alright, then I'll wait.
Or should have.
Well, there's laser weapons too.
Laser weapons 2 is done. Where's the there? Okay, we had a little bit of a bug, but everything's back.
Well, there it is. It's there. I see it.
Alright, so Orion Mark II done in 10 seconds.
Ah, that's a little different. Then let me go to the design screen. Bring up the design.
Done.
Alright, so I have Orion's Mark I. If I go in here, I don't see it.
It might be because you had the design screen open as it finished.
Alright, I'll try that again. Yep, there it is. Alright, I now have laser marks too. And I'm going to pull these down because they are... Wow, these are big. Okay. I'm going to see what this ends up doing. It's going to be a very expensive ship. Actually, I'm going to grab one of the newer designs. Well, not this one.
Do I have to hit save once I'm in the quick design, or apply?
Save.
All right, let's see if that works.
All right.
There we go.
Well, I just added one. What did you add?
The name is Be Reasonable.
All right.
It should have one of those.
It didn't show up on my end.
I don't see it. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, me adding it, did anybody see my new one saying Viper?
Yep.
I see Viper and I see Stinger as well.
Could someone else who's not the server design a ship and see when that shows up?
Yeah.
Adam Ogre, have fun.
Adam did that. That's right. Adam made one. He made Stinger in the first place.
Yep. I designed Stinger, saved it, and built it, now flying it.
Okay, then why is Paul having the problem is the question, I guess. I mean, did you hit? Ah, Matt, something horrible is happening on the factory
What?
screen.
No.
You now have like a bunch of different containers for the, um, yeah, for the queue.
I guess let me know when you're looking at that, Matt, because I'm about ready to build another research thing. Or I can
Hold on
also
1 second. I'm
I
looking
can
at
also
the
watch the
factory
things.
screen. Okay. I see one Viper in one of the queues, but the timer is completely borked.
The timer's borked, but I mean, I literally had like 5 queues show up.
Ooh.
Meaning, and they were all over the screen, and they did some horrible things there. It's like,
That's not good.
no, that's not good. And you can actually see it moving, so when I put these things back in, it sort of shifts in.
Oof.
So something is very much not right.
Okay, I guess.
Ah!
What?
Uh-oh.
I now have like 8 of them on the screen right now.
No.
Alright, I'm gonna turn this off before I do horrible, irreparable damage here.
Weird. I did not encounter that problem when I built a second builder bot.
Alright.
Okay, Jordan, if you want to build the research lab now.
Yeah, one moment. You guys listen to that. Give me a minute.
Fair enough. So my Viper still's not coming out for whatever reason. It's not starting. I'll try to put the...
You have a little about 4,400. Is that enough?
Yeah, mine's like 3289. Okay, so the question is, why isn't it building it? It may have to do with
the ship
Watt's...
has been built. I built a builder bot early on.
Alright, I'll put it in the other queue. Whoops. I'll put it down here, and that still doesn't do anything.
Cool, I made a ship.
Dog food just showed up.
That's mine.
Yep. Alright, I put Viper in both queues, and it's not starting.
The other test, Matt, I've ordered a research lab built, an analytics lab built.
We have power. You know, they look okay. They're still all running here. So, yeah, I have zero idea why that's borked.
I mean, I haven't changed anything in there recently.
Yeah.
Doubt it, because you don't give it enough attention.
Yeah, probably. Now, Adam said, is anybody else able to put on a ship and actually produce it? Either being a Viper or something else?
I produced a builder bot
Well, I mean, at this point, could you do it?
at this point. I mean, I'll try, just for fun of test, I'll try and produce another builder bot.
Okay. You just want to do that as an exploit anyway. Okay, see the builder bot building.
Yep, builder bot's building. The analytics lab is building, Matt. Usually by now, I think it will have shown up.
Alright, could someone build me a Viper and I'll give them the money?
Matt, did it perform as it was exposed?
It did, actually. Thank you.
Nice. Sure, I'll queue up another Viper. I'll queue up a Viper for you, Art.
Alright, someone did 2 of them. 3. Ah. One's actually building, I don't know whose is that.
Mine.
Okay. Alright, I'll go to the asset screen and give you the money for that.
Probably don't have to, given how much money I just saved on another builder bot.
That's still an exploit.
It is still an exploit. More to the point, though, remember, I also have the most money still. So I'm not going to notice.
Half and half. Still feel better if I can do this anyway. So is 30... So can I click on this and actually type this in? Nope. Why is it maxing out 1084? That's very strange. So Matt, when I go to do transfer something to Jordan,
Mm-hmm.
I click on my own thing. I click on Jordan, and I have the bar up there, but it maxes out at like
Whoever's
12.
firing, can you stop that for a moment?
All right. And literally the slider won't let me go past like 1200 or so. Like that's the upper maximum. So I have like 6,000, but if I try to transfer, it's definitely a percentage. Maybe it's a singular box that's getting the number from what the maximum is or something.
Yes, that sounds right, but I can't hear the beginning of and most of what you're saying because whoever's firing is just drowning you out.
Okay. Let me take a peek. Is anybody firing their ship currently?
I am not firing my ship currently, no.
I'm not.
Okay, I don't. Is the sound still going there, Matt?
No, it's stopped finally.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm assuming
so
it too.
you were saying that you're trying to send money to Jordan,
Yes.
and it's only pulling up. It's not pulling up enough.
Yeah, it's maxing out at 1200, or it was. Let's see if it goes all the way up now. So now that's still maxing out at 1500. You know, I have like 7,000, or just shy thereof. You can see it on the live stream. It's sort of.
Okay, yeah, it's maxing out for me at 1600. It must just be. I think I set it to pull from the largest available resource box.
Okay.
So I guess I'll just make a note that we need to upgrade this so you can select where you're pulling from. Just to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, solve the problem once and for all.
Fair enough. I'll max it out. Hit transfer. And I should hit it again. By your definition, I should be able to. See, now it just says 10. And I don't think it's the largest box. I just think it's a box.
Okay. Well, I'm still making a note.
Yeah. Although at this point I'm frozen, so I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, I'm frozen too.
Paul, did you
Yeah.
crash?
Yeah, locked out as well, it seems. Yep.
Alright. Are you out now?
Yes.
Alright. So did you do anything special this time to make it go boom, or what?
Nope, I was just sitting there, like, in the sim screen, just observing the city.
And then you froze up.
Yep, as you guys mentioned.
Okay. No one else crashed then.
I'm still here.
Alright. Paul, what is the spec of your machine so we understand what's happening? What's the processor? What's the video card? That kind of thing.
CPU is an Intel i7-4790K. GPU is GTX 980.
Okay.
Should I try and like relaunch? Because I wasn't doing anything. I was just.
How much memory do you have RAM-wise? Do you know?
16 gigs.
Alright, that shouldn't be a problem either. I don't know why your system is always eating it. Because, I mean, you're the one that's consistently always crashing, and I don't understand why. Your spec is kind of normal. I mean, we run it on our laptops all the time. That's only 16 gigs. They're i7s, you know. The video card's newer with what we're running, but that's not that big of a deal. No, it just concerns me why it would blow up on you, that's all.
It's interesting. I don't know why. I mean, I'm playing that. I have the game in the. It's on the SSD. I'm not even using a hard drive to actually run it. So, should I like reload or no?
I mean, you can, sure. I mean, I am now inside my brandy new ship that someone was very nice enough to build for me.
Was it dog food? Because I made the ship dog food. Maybe I made it wrong, and then it got.
No, I asked them to build me some Vipers.
Okay. Rejoining.
All right. So it's shielded, and these should have dual Orion shoes in it. Matt, is it safe enough to go into this self-damage screen enough that I should take a peek, or is that going to be a problem?
What do you want to look at in there?
Just the fact that what my weapons are.
Yeah, the weapon ticks are working solidly. The items are working solidly.
Okay.
The armor view works. Don't try to activate shields. But you can actually look at
Yeah, we have
the
our
facets
N2s.
don't highlight, but you can look at facets as you move over the ship.
Oh, hey, there you go. Look at that. See, that's a surprise addition to the thing.
It was one of those stupidly simple things that for some reason was really difficult to get just right.
Fair
Don't know
enough.
why.
Can I rotate this, or this is going to cause a problem?
You should be able to rotate it.
All right. Oh, there it goes. So you can see what's underneath and that kind of thing, what the armor is, and actually seeing the armor is kind of cool.
It was actually very interesting. Playing around with that, I realized that some of these ship components are connected to really weird facets.
Yeah.
Like the default ship kind of has those two wings,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them is apparently mostly laser, and the other one seems to be where most of the cockpit is.
Well, that's what algorithmic does for you sometimes. No, this came out pretty good, thank you. But I definitely have the different weapons, so now I'm going to go and see if I can go harsh an enemy base. Is anybody else going to join me?
I
I
can
mean,
come
there's
on
a
the enemy
second
base.
Viper if anyone wants to play with it. And I can try and queue up some more.
Well, these have twin marked, tier 1 cannons versus tier 0 cannons. Meaning they're beam weapons, but yeah. Should I wait, or are people going to not join me, or what's going on?
Sure, let me see if I can't find the available Viper.
Should just be able to hit H, man.
Okay, is that it? And then,
Yeah,
all right.
I see you're in it. I see you moving in it, so there's your answer.
Cool. I just didn't know which one was free, which one was like open, which was used by somebody else.
I think my ship finally came out. There's another Viper out there, and it says ship owner me.
Yep. The queue has reduced.
Huh. All right, now we're paused out again.
I'm able to move around, but I'm noticing that the ground has disappeared.
Well, that's a different glitch. So who crashed?
That was me, sorry. One moment. Okay, I'm out. You should be good again.
Yeah, everything sort of like reset itself. I went, wah! So all my... Alright, of course I had to go in there and mess with it. So I went to the factory screen to see how the queue was, and then when I clicked on the second one, it ate itself. So
In case it comes up as an issue, I was actually in there at the same time.
okay. This was in the update queue grid from factory queue grid in the new factory screen. Basically, it blew up in the logging.
What was it trying to log?
I'm trying to figure that one out. FQ, looks legit. No, that's. I was looking for AB00102 ship, so I guess it was doing that. Come on, mouse, don't be an idiot. Count.
I just noticed that I'm frozen now.
Yeah, because the whole thing's all scrapped. Basically, the OGO user data producing is incorrect. So whatever got put into the user data of the OGO, which I assume was a factory queue, is not correct.
Yeah, that must be that one item in the queue that was all messed up.
Yeah. So the OGO is legitimate. It's ID2 cat1 count1, if that helps.
That would just indicate whose ship it was, mostly.
All right, and then the user data is just garbage.
Okay.
So can't help you there. All right, so I'll have to exit out, come back in. However, we should be okay with loading a save game. So there's the positive there.
At least for my personal entertainment, I've hit that point of the game where I've developed the city enough that I start to just munch through the tech web.
Fair enough. So we got up to 13, according to this. So I know what to load. So obviously we're going backwards a little bit, but I'm so happy the damn load save works. You have no idea. So yeah, so something's kind of borked in the factory screen. I know that's the bane of Matt's existence, and I don't blame him. Just when you think you're out, it drags you back in. Yeah, so I hear you there, Matt. I've been there too many times. Okay, server's back up.
The factory screen is my Fredo.
Yeah.
What?
It's a Godfather reference.
Okay, just as a note, I think I'd really like for the next test if we could just when the controls are locked, lock the mouse controls too, so that we stop having where you where like even though you know lock the controls, you can go mess with the Omni Ball, you still can shoot an afterburner and tilt your ship. It's like lock should be locked.
Well, no, I mean that's on purpose. It's that way. I mean I don't understand what the issue is.
The fact that you can still fire while your controls are locked.
Oh, you mean that part of it? Okay. But
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
mouse, you mean? Okay, okay,
Yeah.
I get that. I get
We
that.
don't accidentally fire at somebody while we're trying to click the Omniball unit.
Okay, that part makes sense. That I agree
The
with.
fact that like when you have controls locked, so you're not using your ship, you're going to play with the Omni Ball. All of the mouse buttons still work. You can still afterburner. You can still spin the ship, and you can still fire.
All right, and that's fine. But basically, joystick controls should still work, though, in my opinion.
Sure. That's
I mean, if
what,
you have a
sure.
joystick, sure.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm running with. So, you know,
That is none of my concern.
fair enough. All right, but then your suggestion feedback is very much noted, and I agree with that completely. All right, is everybody in their brand new ship, and then we can go gack things?
Yes.
I don't know if mine actually got built or not.
There's a few spares here. You've hit H. There's Ogre, you're in one. I see you're in one. Or I see one you own. Let's put it that way. How's that? There's one that I own that's also idle there. So we got 2 idle ships, so there's plenty for people to jump in and go on the run with. Ogre?
I'm kind of in a weird state at the moment.
Kiki?
Like, I'm in space.
Oh.
I can see a bunch of target reticles in the distance, stacked on top
Oh,
of
I
each
think
other.
at some point during one of the crashes, I did watch one of the ships launch itself into the atmosphere.
Fair enough. I don't see you up there, but doesn't mean it's not happening. I guess hit H and see what you can find as you can go into it.
There are a few that are still over factories right now.
Well, that's what I mean.
I'm cycling between 2.
Okay, well then pick one and hit P.
Okay. Not sure if this is one of the original ships or not.
Well, the newer ships have shields on it, so there you go. So if you went to one of the original ships, then at the very least you'd be able to hit H again and go to one of the others.
Adam, what does Drive Health mod do?
Alright, found one.
Alright, there you go.
What does what do?
Drive Health mod on the tech web. Just curious because this is the first time I found it.
I'll have to look that up. I don't remember naming anything that.
Alright, Ogre, let's go for it. We'll go after the warehouse.
Joining in.
Have fun, kids.
Woo! I guess we should probably concentrate on the on their turrets or whatever first, but whatever works.
I appear to be frozen.
Okay. Hit F11 and F12 to make sure that's you're not in AI mode or something. Or now I am frozen too, so someone crashed.
I'm still fine.
I'm good.
Fine. I mean, I think that this might not be moving very. What?
Well, I mean, once it cascades to the server and the server is not responding, everybody else is gonna lock up too.
Yeah. I mean, I figured that was going to happen, meaning I'm not crashing.
I'm guessing it might be me because I couldn't Alt-Tab out. I had to Control-Delete.
Okay. Damn, I really wish I knew what was causing these issues. Okay, everything's fine again now.
You said that literally right after I clicked End Task.
Yep. Oh, that was Ogre then. So I guess we'll wait until Ogre's
be
back
back.
around. Huh?
I'll be back.
It'll be back.
We're all still.
Ironically, because of the pause out, my shields went massively down, but
I might be in the middle of crashing or something. I've crashed. I've crashed from the research screen, but I suspect it was a lot of pausing out right as things were finishing up.
I think it was the pausing out thing, to be honest, but still.
If you want a log, I'll provide a log, but
I don't think it would help me right now.
yeah, I think it seems like there were a lot of other explanations for that.
Yeah.
So, Jordan, you said drive health mod?
Yes.
Okay, I thought you were saying help.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's just basically gives you more hit points for your drives.
For your engines.
Engines and thrusters.
Yes.
How do we want these mods to be applied? I don't know if they apply at all right now. Like, was that we talking about like with a refit, or do they just go?
With a refit. They don't just appear.
Right. I just like discussing the future mechanics for the record.
That's fine. Alright, I do notice there's some of our ships above their base. Let's take stuff out. Ogre, I assume you're mostly on the way back in at this point.
Yeah, I'm on the call it the initial join screen.
Did they build any turrets? I don't see any. Oh, there goes one of the buildings.
Just took out the warehouse.
Yeah.
I mean, last time I looked at them, they didn't have turrets.
Well, I guess we scared them off, so this is going to be kind of a turkey shoot. And then someone else is pausing out again.
I'm rejoining.
Yes. Alright, I'll take this guy out. I don't know, I expected Orion 2s to do more damage than this is doing. Maybe when he's hitting a bigger thing. Oh, there we go. And boom. Is it me, or is the light explosions not happening? I mean, when the actual building goes up, it's not.
Hit another building.
Doesn't seem as bright as it was before.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take out a reactor and see what we get. Let's see what we get here. I'm just not close enough. I'm not close enough. Unless I'm firing pulses at it. Doing a good job of it. Looks of it. Yeah, the light's not going off.
Yeah, the light's not going off.
Why is the light not going off? Oh, bloody hell.
What do you mean lights not going off?
Well,
It's not lighting up the area around it.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
when an explosion happens, there's supposed to be a light around everything. Huh?
I got it now.
Yeah. Alright, so there's the builder bot left, and that's kind of that. Did we hit an upper limit, maybe because of the pulses? Maybe between all the thrusters and everything else like that? But that should have just reset. Maybe it doesn't reset it. Yeah, that didn't... I think an explosion from killing the builder bot either. Meaning, I got the main explosion when they get the big light show. Alright, well the enemy base is wiped out.
Hooray.
Yeah. Well, part of the problem is that it wasn't that much because they didn't bother to build their turrets, and I suspect that was partly because we chased off the builder bot to a certain degree. At least the boxes are now killable. And that's the last of them. So technically we just won. But that's very strange that light... I thought the first one that we saw blow up. If you know what I mean. But then the rest of it didn't. I wonder if there's a light count issue. That's a good question. Alright, I'm shooting my beams at the ground, and the lights for the beams aren't showing up. The light from my thrusters are. I have it set so it doesn't allow it to go past 128 lights. I wonder if some of the lights are still located and never freed. Or maybe that's what it is. That would make a certain level of sense. Someone came in with the pulse weapons, I guess? Adam?
Sorry, what's that?
Did you build with something with pulse weapons?
Yeah, my ship has pulse weapons.
Alright. Maybe the pulses aren't going back out. Tell you what, I'm gonna go out to here, nav screen, and then I'm gonna come back in and I'm gonna fire. Yep. Okay. So what I think happened is when you switch screens for going to the nav screen and then back again, when you switch screens, it delocates all the lights, if you know what I mean. So when you switch back, everything just relocates it when you fire. So Adam, where are you? Can I see your pulses hitting the ground, please?
I'm currently over our base.
Okay, I'm kind of near it. I guess take a pot shot. Let's see, where's the Adam? Oh, there's the Adam. Because where's all the Adam? There he is. Okay, let me come over towards you. And I just want to verify that this is what's going on. So Adam, if you would, shoot the ground, please. Alright, see that's not... Now, do you see my beams lighting up the ground?
I see it hitting, but they're not lighting up.
Okay. Hit F11 and then hit F12 again.
Okay.
And now do you see it lighting up?
Yes, I do.
Alright, I'm going to do the same thing here. And then, would you please shoot the ground, please? Do a bunch of them. Yeah, that's not lighting up. We must be hitting some sort of upper maximum or something like that. I'll have to check that, though. I have it set for 64, maybe? Instead of 128? That's very strange. Alright, well, that's a new bug to look into. That's the whole point of stress testing, to see what would happen. It's not the atmospheric shader. That doesn't use a light source. That's just a post-process effect. So yeah, well, despite everything, we kind of completed our mission. We have a monstrously huge base there, Jordan. So congrats on that. Let's see what it looks like from the nav screen here. Oh, that's a good point. Adam, let me see if I can find you again. Could you fire pulses at the ground again, please?
Okay.
Of course, it's scragging out on me. I'm trying to find where your ship is. Do you know where you are close to?
The base.
Thank you.
And I don't know. I don't know what's north, south, east, or west. I'm right close to the base.
Gets back to what you were saying about like trying to find who's. All right, let me see if I can find you, and I'll get near you, and then I'll can then track you a little bit easier. All right, don't go anywhere. Just stay put. Yeah, so I can see who you are. Okay. Could you fire at the ground, please? See, I see the hits, but I just don't see the light sourcing. Why would that go nuts? Alright, well, that's another mystery for me to solve. That's the way it goes. Alright, well. The question is, do you want to reset and test other things? Do you want to call it? What do you want to do?
I think
What are
this
the
seems like
things
a
we
good
test?
time.
Alright, one at a time, please.
Adam, good.
what other things do we have to test?
We did the atmosphere, we did the engine flares of the nav screen, and we made sure the thing didn't eat itself because Jordan was building things. Other than crashes that people have experienced with Paul and limited to Matt and Ogre, it's been running the way it should be running. I still don't know why they crashed, don't get me wrong, but we're not going to figure it out right this second. The server did not crash, other than that factory screen going crazy. And my ships did eventually get somewhere. I see someone came out with a brand new ship there.
Yep, I decided I wanted to try something.
Yes. Different colored engines. I love that.
Well, I've been researching all this new stuff.
Yep, you're not wrong. I just don't think there's enough lights from the engines to eat up the light limit. And even if it does, it's supposed to relinquish things. And so maybe it's not relinquishing it. So I see your beams shooting the ground and lighting up the ground, if you know what I mean. Maybe that's just it. I'll have to check the code, because now I'm curious. But now's not the time for that anyway. Alright. Well, it was a successful test. I do think in the future we should come in with nerf ships that basically have no weapons on them whatsoever.
Probably, yeah.
Because
Good idea.
we're kind of to that point now. What's that?
Well, that's what's supposed to be what the player's state is.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing having a little scout ship and that's what you're running around with, but it's another thing saying, okay, you have beams, you have whatever. I think it's better to have a completely weaponless ship, and then you have to wait for your own stuff to get online to get a ship. I think that's what's supposed to be.
I can build that for us.
Yeah. That'd be appreciated. And, make it fast or not, whatever we decide that it should be. Definitely things to stomp. I gotta figure out what's going with the lighting system. I mean, it works when it... Yeah, it's working. It's just being stupid. I don't get that. I'll have to do checks. Like I said, I never stressed it, meaning really stress tested it to see if things were delocating properly, that kind of thing. The reset obviously resets it, so that's a good thing. But yeah. All right. I think we'll wrap it up here. I mean, we're an hour and a half in. That's kind of normal. Any other comments before we go?
Not that I can think of.
All right, I'm going to exit the server. So everybody think of the atmosphere.
Very nice.
I like it.
Did it add enough to it that kind of made it worth it, or no?
Very much, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think it was something that the game truly needed, or just was kind of just yet one more thing?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, right after, because yeah, basically, right now without it, it just basically looks like like you're basically on sort of like the moon. With it, definitely like you're on Mars.
On your own time, it'd be fun if you go into single player and then you went to deep space sandbox. You can actually see Mars with the big atmosphere around. It's actually rather cool looking. Actually, it's very impressive. Should I show that real quick since I'm here, just for the
Yeah, go for it.
the home playing audience, so to speak? I mean, it's not that impressive in the sense of you're not going to do anything up there, but the sense of just to see it. And yes, if you dive down towards the planet and you get down to the surface, it's effectively high noon because the sun's right behind you anyway, as far as where you start. So when you get down there, it's sort of like you don't get the sunset because it's high noon. So everything's all blued up and that kind of thing. It's just like, well, yeah, that's what atmosphere does. Go figure. So if I go to Deep Space Sandbox and I move around, there is Mars proper with a nice big happy atmosphere. And that's all calculated. That's all real. That's not some fake fogging or anything else funky. That's real stuff. And the reason why that's there that way is because if you go over here, the sun is way the hell over there. We should probably have some sort of lens flare on it. But the little yellow dot right there is the sun. But yeah. So Mars has a real atmosphere now. Although we've been talking offline about whether or not if we should have, if you go too fast that you start burning up, that kind of thing. So you can't just like infinitely go fast, if you know what I mean. If you're going 20,000 feet per second or whatever stupid like that, you're going to start causing yourself problems. I have to see what the equivalent is. See how fast is too fast, where you guys start worrying about like heating up.
I think we also may want to, consult sci-fi tropes on this one.
That's true.
So I'll also look into that from my perspective.
Yeah, but I love how the atmosphere is just that perfect little envelope around the thing, just because it's. And I probably have it set wrong. I have it set at 160,000 feet. It could be higher, it could be lower, but it's just a number change. It's not anything massive to do. But yeah.
Looking at it on the stream, it looks nice.
Yeah, I mean, I can sit there and jump towards it.
Honestly, I like space stuff, and I really feel like, if nothing else, what you've kind of done with this atmosphere is that sense of space wonder is definitely kind of in there. Like, look at that thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's how I wanted to show it. I mean, you can see the atmosphere's getting bigger and bigger. And then getting close to it. We're actually still pretty far up. Still rezzing up. Now we're actually in the atmosphere. So you can see, once we're in it appropriately, that, yeah, no, that's what we got. I'm not saying the light sourcing is 100% exactly the way it should be, because it's not, but the atmosphere part is. So let's see how high we are. We are 60,000 feet, so we should probably see what it looks like when I exit at high noon, so to speak. Alright. Now, we try to look for the sun, and this, because it's straight above us, we don't get the same kind of thing, because there it is up there. But you can see us starting to get to the top of the atmosphere. I think it was 140s where we hit it. So now we're getting to the edge. Going too much with an angle. Oh, I think I just popped out. Yep, I just popped out of the atmosphere. So that's an interesting look. Going in and out, that kind of thing. But in any case, there's Mars for you. Just thought it'd be neat to kind of show that this is actually fully calculated, that kind of thing.
Love it.
Yeah. I'm not saying the surface doesn't need improvement, it always does, but yeah, it's looking pretty good though. Alright, let me exit out. So yes, one of the other things is to go into the other parts of Mars appropriately. And so I'm still hoping to get that in there pretty soon. Sooner than later. Certainly in the next month. I can't say the next 2 weeks, but certainly the next month that's going to change. We're going to actually start going away from just the pole, and we'll start looking a little bit better and that kind of thing. That's where that one's going. Cool. So in any case, thank you again all for coming. And I'll see everybody in 2 weeks. Thank you for joining us.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Laters.
Bye.